James, I guess that must be one of your proudest rides on Shillelagh.
Yeah, it was very good. It was very special to win for Mr. and Mrs. Grace. Obviously, the whole Kiwi connection, Kiwi horse as well. So, no, it was fantastic, and she deserved it. She's been racing against the best company all the way through, and back to her own sex and against the mares. So it was really good.
Yeah, could you believe the weight she picked up in the close of the race?
No, not really. I thought the race had already been and gone, and she kept taking spots all the time, and I just needed one final one. She got it, and she burst through. She could have. I even won by further if I got it clear out at the top of the straight. So, no, it was a fantastic achievement.
It keeps up an amazing record that you've got through Derby days in the past, hasn't it?
Yeah, no, I've had a lot of luck on these kind of days, and I thought I was close to winning the Coolmore as well as the Derby. I probably should have won the Derby, to be fair, and that would have been great for Mike and the connections there, because obviously I got put on the horse to try and get him a result, and to finish third, it was obviously a little bit disappointing, but in saying that, he's a very good horse, and it's probably all come a bit quick for him, but he's going to be a really good horse.
You seem to be in the right spot in the Derby. The horse just didn't carry you into it, did he?
He did. I just never got the splits when I needed them. If I got Shillelagh's splits, I would have probably given the winner a good run for his money, but they didn't come, but that's obviously racing, and we'll look forward to the AJC Derby with them.
Yeah, exactly. How are you feeling now, Yucatan, only a couple of days out to this?
Barrier draw here, so this will be important. But, very well. The one that Michael won the Lexus on, I could have beaten it by 6, so it's very satisfying. I would have been a bit worried if Bohemian Rocks and the Prince of finished tailed off. So the form's franked. He could have won by 6 or 8 lengths, so it's all good signs.
Yeah, thanks for giving us so much access to you over this week, and you've got a country behind you on Tuesday.
Cheers, thank you.
Jay McDonald and Aidan Rodley after the big day out, and his biggest moment was, of course, Shillelagh. So let's go back and have a look at the race, shall we? And we can just watch this performance very closely at hand from the 1600 metre start.
Gate 10, the great Grace colours, the green with the yellow sleeves. He half snicks back from the barrier, and he's down to the rail as they come across onto the course proper after a couple of 100 metres. He is a long way back.
She is that sort of horse, though.
Yes, yeah. They didn't go mad sectionals. They've come home in 33.84 off the front, so it just shows what an enormous performance it is, coming from 5 or 6 lengths off the speed. She's getting close to breaking 33 the last 600 metres. A terrific win, but one heck of ride, and I think most people are calling it the ride of the day. It's one of those rides, if it comes off, you're a genius, Michael. If it doesn't, you get egg on your face.
And he lost no momentum. We'll see this later in the head-on. He kept the inside path, but often if you do that, you gamble on losing momentum.
He's following 2 good horses. O'Hood got a little keen in the run in the yellow with the blue cap, about 3 back on the fence, and following that in colours that don't look unlike the Waikato stud colours, the white with the green checkered sleeves, is Amphitrite. So he's following the favourite. He's got 2 backs, good backs to follow. Hood shuffles back. He's now gone from 5 back to 4 back, but he has got a wall of horses in front of him.
He's almost going wide there himself, isn't he?
Yeah, he was tempted to take the outside run, but switches back to the inside. Often a low percentage move with horses tiring at the front and falling back towards the rail. Gets a bit dicey here, but there's just enough room to squeeze through, and she's terrific late. Now, they're saying O'Hood, little unlucky, so too Amphitrite, but after watching it a few times, I think she would have won anyway. I don't think those horses behind would have got clear and beaten her. Terrific. Here's the head-on, great footage, and the white cap there with the arrow. Not a lot of room there at the moment, so
it's a roadblock now.
I'll tell you what,
still no room.
It's a brave move to race this mare after last year. She won the Kennedy Mile last year, so she was an established Group 1 winner, and she could have easily gone to stud, and obviously the Graces do breed horses, so were you surprised by that? I mean, you don't see many mares who win a Group 1, unless you're Winks and you're going to go on and win a stack of races, but it's not like Shillelagh's a horse you would think, okay, well, we'll just keep racing because she'll make 2 or 3 million. So they've rolled the dice there, won their second major race at a Flemington Carnival, but gee, that's a gutsy call.
She's worth some money now. 7-year-old mare, as you say, by Savabeel. She won the Ken Taylor last year. She comes back in what has been formerly known as the Mire, and just a really good mare.
And Tiaka obviously bought her at the sales, and they've bought almost everybody else in the family they can buy, including Spirit of Galway, who's a maiden at the moment. So the family just keeps franking itself out. Like, if you bought that family now, like Gracia, that just gets worth more and more and more money.
And she would be in Savabeel's top 5 performers now, just about, with that win.
Oh, it's a pretty big list.
Yeah, well, Lucia Valentina's well ahead, right? Is she?
But it depends if you're being boys or girls. He's had a wonderful run of female horses.
Yeah.
But you've also had horses like Kiwis, for example. Who, you know,
but she after that she's won what, about 1.4 million?
Yep.
But if we judge it on stake money, then all the Australian horses are going to be miles ahead of all the.
Yeah, no, but as Savabeel performance goes, she's really, she's a 7-year-old and she's probably finally jumped into
the mare's
top
back in
echelon.
fold of Savabeel.
Okay.
So there's a full turning up this time next year.
And after so much criticism of the breed, it was nice to see a New Zealand breed get into Group 1.
Wasn't it funny? Because during this carnival, we've had that real feeling that our horses can't keep up during this carnival. And yet, Very Elegant, who was beaten yesterday, is still one of the favourites for the Oaks, and it's a Z. And there's still plenty of New Zealand bred horses winning. The problem is, Bruce, we just seem to be selling them all the time.
The people are performing though. And I suppose, as James sort of, alluded to after that, race with his glee and victory, that although the New Zealand trained horses are thin on the ground, the impact of the New Zealanders on the Melbourne Spring Carnival is fairly emphatic when you go down to the fine print. One of those, of course, is, I suppose, expat New Zealand trainer now, Mike Moroney, who's aiming 2 European horses at the Melbourne Cup. And of course, he had a key runner in the Derby yesterday, which was slightly unlucky, as Aidan Rodley found out post-match.
If I hadn't won 2 before, I'd be very disappointed. But he just didn't get any luck, just when he needed it. And I could see at the 600 he was travelling up like the winner, and they'd gone really hard. And I turned around a couple of the owners and just said, all we need is luck now, and we're going to win a Derby. He just didn't get it. So, and then picked himself up off the canvas and ran home strongly, So it was a great effort.
When will we see him next?
Probably go to the paddock now, and it'll be the autumn.
Okay, you've had the Melbourne Cup drawn now. Obviously, Venge Mars couldn't have drawn much better.
Drawn very well. Horse is absolutely flying. One of the owners got 200 to 1 the other day. I know that he talked this bookie into it, but I just can't believe that he's not 20s or under, because to me he's the right horse. We missed the autumn on purpose to aim at these races. I know it's a risk. Owners are willing to take it. I really think I got him at his best, and luck and running, I think he's going to run terrific, and wouldn't be no surprise.
That barrier draw does really give you options of a luxurious, cosy run, doesn't it?
Look, he could actually lead a Newmarket field. He's got that much gate speed. He'll obviously go forward from that gate. Whether we try and lead all the way in the Cup's going to be, it's hard to do, but we can take an option to take the sit then, because there's going to be a few from out wide coming across, I would think.
Yeah, wider draw for Soundcheck. What will your plan be from there?
It wouldn't worry me, because he needs to be in the clear. I think he's a horse that probably is better off sitting 3 wide with cover. That's how the horses till they get used to our racing are better that way, because he just did it all wrong in the Caulfield Cup. And I think he'll be running along true enough for him to be able to just roll along at his own rate, and that'll be, say, midfield with cover, hopefully.
You did tell us the other day that you've got a horse that you think is going into Melbourne Cup as well as any horse since Brew in 2000.
Yeah, I really think that. I really think that he's going as well as Brew at the same stage. The more I look at the field, yes, it's probably a little bit stronger than last year when we didn't make the field, but I don't think it's a lot stronger. And I've always been a believer in this horse. I've been believing that this year's going to be his year.
He mentioned Brew there, and it wasn't long after Brew that Mike Moroney was actually bemoaning the fact that New Zealand wasn't breeding horses like him for the future of the Melbourne Cup, and he, of course, has gone to Europe to find his fairly strong chances in that lineup that we see on Tuesday now. A starter for 24, if you like, Yucatan, drawing 24. Is that going to sort of pull him back a wee bit from those who are really
I think he's
enthusiastic about him?
23.
23. Oh.
But it's still a long way out.
Is he going to pull people back on enthusiasm for making
the price?
Yeah.
It changes the price, yeah. Does it change his winning percentage? 2 years ago, Heartbreak City started from 22 and got the best run of the Melbourne Cup you ever see. But that, was Frankie Dettori, and this is James. So I think a lot of people want James to win a Melbourne Cup in this country. I've said it before, I think outside Chris Waller, he's the most popular thoroughbred horse person we have. And I think a lot of people will want him to win, whether he can or not. Well, 8 to 12 would have helped. 23 won't help, but it's not like he's carrying 57 kgs. I think it fits for me, because like a lot of people watching this at home, you want to pick a Melbourne Cup winner, Bruce, but you haven't got time to go through all the form. Who's watched Magic Circle win its sound down on May 24th?
We're going to soon.
Beating Red Verdant. So, but you haven't got time to do all that stuff to the level you want to, because even if you see it, you don't really know how Red Verdant was going, so you don't know what it means. So I just come up with a pattern, and I like horses with light weights European bred, obviously, one start in Australia is great, and a good Australian jockey. That seems to be what works for me, Bruce, and Yucatan ticks all of those boxes, but
you're taking a toxic price, though, aren't you?
exactly, you're taking
4.5.
the wrong price and you're taking a barrier 23. So I think that's how a lot of people are now starting to look at it. They're looking at like these sort of horses more so than actual specific horses.
So we're going to look at the markets and the New Zealand chances and a bit of that European form shortly. The Zabeel factor may be a wee bit diluted this year, but there was nothing to stop Sir Patrick Hogan turning up at the barrier draw, trying to get the son of Zabeel, one of the outsiders in the race, Zakada, a good barrier draw, and Aidan Rodley caught up with Sir Patrick post-barrier draw yesterday.
Patrick, you've been given a task. I don't know if you've done it so well.
Yeah, I think I've done worse of it, all the bloody draws coming out. But anyway, I'm pretty sure I got 24 once before on a draw. So anyway, 7 Melbourne Cup winners have come from mares or stallions at Cambridge Stud. That's a pretty big record. So it would mean a lot, I think, for me, sentimentally. Zabeel's well gone and Sir Tristram's well gone. They're well proven in the at the Cup distance. I think the clouds can come and a bit of rain. I think that would give us a little bit of an advantage. I think the only plus I've got at the moment is that Nick Williams on the favourite drew 23, I drew 24. We've got to get on his tail.